The following program, The Lightning Strike, is sponsored by Mohammed Fahim, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Fahim, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Fahim.
Well, thank you so much, Walt, for joining us. And on that note, folks, let's take a look at what's happening with Donald Trump's presidency. It did not end well. We all know that. He was the first president since Herbert Hoover to see a net loss of jobs. Unemployment rose and the economy shrank by more than 3%. Corporate profits went up, but manufacturing jobs went down. Home prices shot up by almost 30%, and the national debt increased by about $8 trillion. That is trillion with a T. The number of Americans without health insurance also grew by 3 million. And when we talk to him about, do you have a plan? He goes, I have a concept of a plan. I mean, come on, guys. He mishandled the response to the COVID-19 pandemic by ignoring warnings, lying about its seriousness, and promoting fake treatments like injecting disinfectant bleach, right? He even appointed a doctor who believed in bizarre theories like, quote-unquote, the demon sperm. He insulted military members, argued with families of fallen soldiers, saluted a North Korean general, and got in trouble for breaking rules at Arlington National Cemetery. And Trump claimed to have the best memory, but often forgot things, and the United Nations laughed at him. The only U.S. president that got laughed at in the United Nations, folks. He was impeached for trying to withhold military aid from Ukraine and encouraged Russian interference in UN elections. And not only that, he ended up sending these COVID test kits to his friend Putin, right? He altered a weather map with a Sharpie to falsely show a hurricane's path and threw paper towels to hurricane victims. Aides called him names like, quote, unquote again, idiot. And he had embarrassing moments like boarding a plane with toilet paper stuck to his shoe or not knowing how to close an umbrella. He faced multiple legal issues, he's still facing them, including fraud and being found liable for sexual abuse. He tried to overturn the 2020 elections, fueling the January 6th insurrection, and he called it a love fest recently. How crazy can this person be? His lawyer even gave a press conference outside a landscaping company by mistake. Remember the guy who had dye running down his face?
Giuliani.
Giuliani, and he's been disbarred in almost every other place, right? So he can't practice law. Trump lost the popular vote twice, folks, was indicted 4 times, convicted of 34 felonies. He often made bizarre statements like calling the CEO of Apple, Tim Apple, or saying strange things about sharks and Hannibal Lecter. It was a presidency full of controversies and scandals, and this is just a quick overview, and I have no idea why people would still want this guy to come back.
You missed a few.
I missed a few? Go ahead, Ken.
He made a government policy to take little kids away from their moms and dads.
Okay.
Which was, he gave pardons to all of his friends. Okay. The generals, admirals, and chief foreign advisors say that Trump would be a disaster for foreign policy moving forward. And over 100 prominent Republicans are endorsing Kamala right now.
Okay. So this is what we are looking at, folks. Elections are less than, 2 weeks from now? Okay.
Close.
If we don't get up and take notice of this, I don't know what kind of country we're going to end up with. The other thing that we forgot about Trump he keeps on saying that he was going to build a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it.
Yeah, not quite.
One thing I want to mention, like, people say they don't like Trump for all those reasons that you say that, but they like his policies. Well, let me just explain some of the policies in the past 3 years and some of the results of that. We have actually 7 million more jobs since before the pandemic. Okay, we have the largest share of adults 25 to 54 in more than 2 decades, the largest share of working adults in the past 24 years. Americans in the bottom 40% of income have experienced the largest and fastest wage surge since 2019. GDP has been growing at a rate of 3%, far outpacing any other industrialized country in the world right now. Gas prices have been falling, and the economy has added over 250,000 jobs in September alone, way higher than expectations. So when you say you like the other guy's policies, please open your eyes to the policies that have actually worked in a very positive manner in the past 3.5 years.
Okay, so Murray and John, your take on our dear departed president. Okay.
You want to light me off on this?
Hard to say where to start. I think that the themes are important, right? The themes about Trump is that he is chaotic, he is a criminal, and he is unfit mentally. So those are the big, broad strokes. Now, all those crazy items that you shared underneath those big, broad stripes, I guess for me, what's most important for people to understand is that not only is he a chaos agent and he's corrupt and criminal, all those things, but think about a leader like that working across the globe on foreign relations. He is a laughingstock. Nobody takes him seriously. And how does that work when we're trying to have diplomatic relations or solve problems internationally? Going from Kamala Harris and Joe Biden to a laughingstock, that is just going to be horrifying for us. So I guess for everybody's sake, I'm recommending 2 things, and I'll just keep harping on this till Election Day, is a vote for Jill Stein is a vote for Trump. If she gets more than 0.5% of the vote, in fact, Trump will win. And so she has said that she is pro-Trump. She has said that. She's on tape saying that. So you cannot vote for Jill Stein if, in fact, you want a democracy to maintain in this country.